All right, so if the 2025 NBA draft process is officially over, it's time for 2026. And I'm gonna be honest, this draft is one of the most loaded we've seen in recent memory. And I'm looking at my phone right here, right? I have everybody on the list. There's like one, two, three, four, five, like six guys that can go number one. Like that's insane. Like that's genuinely fucking insane. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over my NBA mock draft for 2026. Give you a top 14. Just no team in particular order, just who I would have taken in those slots. And yeah, let's get into it. So number one, I have AJ Dibansa out of BYU, and the reason why I have him number one is because although I think Darren is a better shot maker right now, I just think AJ has more long-term potential. And in a class loaded with this, I think you can bank on upside. Really, to be honest, more than skill. Because at the end of the day, even if AJ doesn't end up as better than Darren Peterson, I still think that AJ will be an incredible player regardless. And he'll be in Utah his entire career because the Mormon Church will pay for his services somehow. So you know what? I'm fine with it. He's an incredible shot maker. He did really well at the U19 World Cup. I mean, he played really well, along with Michael Brown and Jacob Furphy and Morez Johnson, who are four of the guys I have in this top 14. But yeah, AJ is my number one guy. I just think he's has the highest upside of anyone in this class, other than Nate Amen, who that kid's a freak. And yeah, that's why I have AJ number one. And number two, I have Darren Peterson out of Kansas. He's just a next level scorer. He's the best guard prospect of this decade by far. I think he might be the best guard prospect since Ben Simmons, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. So he's just an incredible talent. He can score on all three levels. Incredible hard worker, just incredible game. And he didn't play in the U19 World Cup due to I think sponsorship issues, but he's just so talented, man. I can't wait to see him in Kansas. Number three, I have Nate Ament out of Tennessee, and the reason why I have him over Cameron Boozers at this point is because I'm banking on upside. And although Cameron Boozer, who is my number four player in this class, which I should just say right now, he is an all-around like type of player. Like Cameron Boozer has like a lower ceiling, but like a higher floor, if that makes sense. Because he's just an all-arounder, right? He's not someone who's gonna flash in one particular area. He can just do all of the things well at a really good level. And I think with Nate Amen, he's 6'11", right? And he's gone from someone who didn't even play, I think it was the U18 World Cup, U18s, I think, to now just grown to 6'11" Kevin Durant comparisons. Which, by the way, if he ends up being Kevin Durant, that's honestly a fair comp considering he's 6'11". He has shot making ability for days. But we'll see what happens with him at Tennessee. I hope he pans out, man. That kid has all the tools in the world to be the number one pick. He might be the number one pick by the end of this. I mean, we have AJ, Darren, Nate. If Cameron ends up proving me wrong, it shows more upside than he did in high school. Although he is a great player, like he'll be like his like floor is like a good all star, but he's just so damn good, right? I don't know if he's a franchise level talent. I have not watched a lot of film on Cameron. I will admit that. However, based on the flashes I've seen, he just looks like that solid, dependable player for me. And I'll have to look back on the film, but he's a really good player. And you know what? He's really talented, so I'm going to go with number four. Now, number five, I have Chris Sinak Jr., who is going to Houston. And he is basically the high school version of Naz Reid, but with a lot more upside to be a really great defensive center in the NBA. I think he's like 6'10". If I'm not mistaken, he's like 6'10", right? Because he that's not his main thing. He's 6'10", 230 out of New Orleans. All right. He is not like what do you call it? How do I say this? Like he's not like defensively oriented. He's gifted offensively to the fucking moon. If he ends up having a big year at Houston, he could be the number one pick in this class if he shows that he can be a franchise changing center based off how good of a scorer he is, right? And I don't know how Houston's going to use him, right? Because Houston, historically speaking, doesn't use their centers really in a modern offensive way, like how Naz Reid plays. Like not even modern, but just like not even like fucking like in a way you would normally expect. And so for me, I don't know how this is a projection pick. I think he's gonna be near a top 5 pick if he shows the flashes he did in high school because he's just so incredibly gifted. He's so incredibly gifted, but he's my number 5 prospect. Now, My number 6 and number 7 prospect, I had Michael Brown as number 8, but I'm gonna move him up to 6 and Jacob Furphy down to 7. I have both of them inside this. Oh, my bad. I have Jacob Furphy going number 7, and I have Michael Brown number 6. Michael is going to Louisville, and Jacob Furphy is going to UConn. I'm gonna talk about Jacob Furphy in a second. But Michael Brown's such a special shot maker, man. I mean, some of the shots he was making at U19s were ridiculous, and I hope he pan. He's just such a special shot maker, and hopefully at Louisville he's able to. The staff lets him loose and lets him shoot the shit out of the ball because goddamn, he is. If you let him have like an ounce of space in terms of the shooting department, he's like bye bye. And he's raw in all the other parts of his game. I think he can be a really good defensive player. I don't know how big his wingspan is, but I'm gonna assume it's like at least 6'8", 6'9", maybe. Like he's I don't know how big it is, but like his wings he's just such a freak athlete along with being a great shooter. Like he's skinny right now. He's like 170. He's insanely raw, but you can see the potential of him. And he's someone, if he continues to develop in a college weight room over the course of this year, put on size and it's like 190 and is basically leading Louisville to a Final Four, he can be a top 5 pick. So I'm going to go with Michael Brown at number 6. And Jacob Furphy, number 7. I don't know if he's a point guard or a shooting guard. I don't know what his future is. He was the main primary ball handler in the U19s for Australia. And I didn't know how, I knew about him before. I just was doing some research just for fun, and I saw him as like, who the fuck is he? And I go back to some of his old film, and he's come such a long way from like a year ago, where he was just more like a spot up guy. At the U19s, and when he was playing against the U.S. in particular, he was the second best player on that floor behind Kola Pete, who was the best because no one could handle him strength to strength. But Jacob is just a solid all-around good player. Right, he shot 50, 40, 90 in NBL 1 East this season. His shooting splits at the U19 Worlds were not really good. However, I will say he was the only shot maker for the Australian national team. And so, for the Australian team, Dash Daniels did not create any offense, really, to be honest, in the USA game or any other game, to be fair. He did some stuff, but he wasn't like as impressive as I thought he could be. He's like Dyson Daniels, but just 3 years forward. And then there was another guy who's going to Pitt, I think. Not official yet. He might be a draft pick, second round pick in like 4 years. He was the only other guy. Actually, you know what? I'll give Dash Daniels this credit. He did make his shots outside of games out of the U.S. But those were the only 3 shot makers for the U.S., and Jacob Furphy was single-handedly carrying this team on offense. So I'm not really worried about his shooting splits. I think, honestly, if he gets to college, he can be a 45, 82, 35 guy. And if he shows that while continuing to be a great ball handler at UConn, which I think he might be the point guard, honestly. Maybe. I mean, honestly, I can see him being a point guard or a shooting guard. I think he can handle the point guard role just fine. Maybe he might handle in the pinch. Maybe he might be a Colin Knipple. I'm not really sure how to feel about that. I mean, I don't have a good depth chart for UConn, but I think with Jacob, he might be one of the best players in this class when it's all said and done. He really impressed me at the U19s, and he might be a lottery pick when this is all said and done. I think he's a really good ball handler. I just don't think shots went his way in this tournament, and ultimately, I don't really care because I think Jacob Furphy is a really good basketball player, and when he gets it, I have to go look back on his 3-pointers because he shot 31% in 7 games just to see what type of looks he was getting. But when he's open, he's going to make them. So I think he has a bright future ahead of him. Obviously, he needs a lot more development offensively, but I think he has a really good ceiling based off how far he's come in the past year. For my number 8 guy, I have Koa Pete. He might have some mellow to his game. I need to watch a lot more tape because he's really more of a mid-ranger guy. Where he just lives on the mid-range, lives in the block. I mean, takes every Carmelo Anthony thing and turns it into his own type of move. But he's got a lot of Carmelo to his game in terms of how he plays, and he's just a man that's still growing. And he might be playing. I don't know what weight they have him listed, but I think he was like 230, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he might have been playing at 230. Oh, 215. he might be playing at like 245 once he gets to the NBA, once he bulks up even more. Because he's already a grown man already. Just wait until he gets like into a college weight room or in the NBA training program. And he's still only 18. Holy shit. But he's just a man amongst boys. He was a man amongst boys in that tournament. And if he continues to grow into his body, I could see him playing at 260, honestly, and being a great, like a Pascal Siakam type of player. He's gonna be one of those guys where you give him the ball when you need it in those situations. I do think he does have some lapses defensively where he just doesn't do the best, but sometimes during this U19 World Cup, he was the offense for Team USA, and I think that speaks a lot to how good this USA team was, which it has like 4 guys I have in my mock playing on the team. Not to mention Jasper Johnson might be a first round pick when it's all said and done. Tyron Stokes played well after not playing really much in the first day. Who else? Oh yeah, Jordan Smith. He's a 2026 guy. That kid's a freak. He's gonna be a top 5 pick out of his class. I mean, he's just really good basketball player. But ultimately, I think that's the reason why I'm gonna have Kobe at number 8. Now, number 9, Tunde Yusufu. Now, this kid is a freak. If you look at one photo at him, he is a absolute fucking monster. And ultimately, when it comes down to this, right? When it comes down to it, this is a projection for a year from now, right? And the kid's a freak. I mean, he's going to have mixtapes that are going to be going for years to come, right? I don't expect him to be a main ball handler, but a VJ Edgecombe type of player with not a lot of shot creation, right? If he is a defensive freak like I think he can be and use those athletic gifts to his advantage, I think he's going to be just fine, and that's why I have him at number 9. For number 10, I have Kareem Lopez. He's just a gifted passer at 6'9". He might be a point guard, honestly. I know SROS has been hyping up like crazy. I'm gonna take his word for it, and I've done a little bit of research into Kareem Lopez. His shot didn't really do well last season. We'll see what happens in the second season of NBL. But he's just a fun prospect. And again, this is all about projections, right? We don't know what the hell is going to happen in the next year, and Kareem Lopez is still going to be a first-round pick when it's all said and done. But it's just, is his shot going to be better to where he's going to be as good of a prospect, if not better than Igor Demon, right? And so ultimately, I don't really know where I stand with him. I need to do a lot more research into him before I make up my mind on him. But I know he has a ton of upside, and that's why he's going to go at number 10. Jaden Quaintance at number 11. He was 17 years old, playing college basketball last year. He played really well. He's just your traditional center, like a Kaman Malawach, just a little bit shorter type of guy. And this is basically waiting to see if his ACL isn't completely fucked or not. If his ACL recovers just fine, he'll be a lottery pick. He's just way too talented not to be. But ultimately, I do hope that Jaden Quaintance does recover from his ACL and just becomes a really good basketball player, because he just has so much upside, man. And I do wonder, like, does the 2 years of college basketball experience instead of one really help him move forward, like into his next move forward into the NBA, and he's more ready? I do wonder about that. So ultimately, we'll see what happens with him. But he's just another guy who, if he pans out, he's just gonna be a great player. Number 12, I have Isaiah Evans. This kid's gonna be a fucking wrecking ball next season. When I see people who say that the other Duke player, I forget his name, but he's white and he's from California, say he's going to be like in starting lineup or something like that. They say he's going to be the guy to watch for. I would highly recommend you watch Isaiah Evans tape, because this kid's a fucking shooter, right? And he was basically playing the 6-man role or 7-man role, whatever the hell you want to call it, because Tyrese Proctor was there. If Tyrese Proctor wasn't there, I think Isaiah Evans would have probably been a lottery pick. I mean, the kid can shoot his ass off. And he was playing behind actually, he was playing behind Conky Nibble, so he really stood no chance. But if you go back to his high school tape and you just see the shot, that will sell you on anything. And if this is a draft where it ends up being, like, we don't know, like, the meat of the draft will be, like, the middle, like, where you get like, your rotation guys and stuff like that, the guys you think that are going to be, like, really, really, really good for a long time, but aren't lead guys. Isaiah Evans will be one of those names that comes up if he if he plays second role to Cameron Boozer, that could completely change. He might not even be on my mock draft when the 2026 draft goes around. So I just think he's a really gifted shooter, and I think in a draft like this, he's going to be rewarded with his patience by moving up into the top 14. He probably would have gone in the first round last year, but he's going to get a huge payday to move up. So that's why I have him at number 12. Number 13, Dash Daniels. This guy, he can't shoot good at times. However, he is raw as shit. I will fully admit that. He is a defensive freak. I will fully admit it. He is a defensive freak. If you just take any look at him, you can see why the Dyson Daniels comparisons are there. And they are very valid. I do think that Dash has a long way to go. I think he'll still get drafted in the first round just based off what raw potential he has. But he's going to take a few years to become a good NBA player. So we'll see where his development goes, and just see where he goes, like how he develops and everything like that. Hopefully he develops just fine and ends up being a really good player down the line. But based off the U19 World Cup, let me check his stats. I don't know what his stats were, but I saw the U.S. game and he just felt like so out of place. He couldn't create offense against good competition. 8 points, 3 rebounds. I don't think he did that well. If I'm being honest, I don't think he really did that well, and I think he would probably say that as well. Do we have a better one right here? Yeah. So at the U19 World Cup, he averaged 8 points, 28% from the field, 52% from the line, 36% from three. So he did shoot well from three, but he just is not there as a prospect in terms of self-offensive creation whatsoever. So we'll see where he goes from here. But I'm going to bank on defensive upside. Just the same with Tunde Yusufu. And just see where it goes. And finally, for my final lottery pick, I have Morris Johnson Jr. out of Michigan. And to put it very bluntly, I was watching some of his highlights, like in March or whatever. And I was like, holy shit, who is this kid? And he just has an incredible motor. He plays like Bam Adebayo, and the Bam Adebayo comparisons are justified, I believe, in my opinion. He's just such a damn good basketball player. And when Brad Underwood compared him to Bam Adebayo, I looked at him constantly, time and time again. There's just some plays he makes on tape where it's like, how the fuck did he do that? Like, there was one point, I forget who it was, but he jumps up literally like fucking Wilt Chamberlain style, just fucking able to deflect the shot that's like all the way up here and just basically runs back. Like, he has incredible motor, incredible power on the rim. Like, I'm not caring about that. But this is a fucking Bam Adebayo clone. I'm sorry, he's literally Bam Adebayo 2.0. Like, the Heat are going to find a way to trade Bam Adebayo, get this kid, and they're going to be fine. Like, the kid's a freak. And great motor, great modern day big. And you know what? I take that in the lottery. You know what? I take that in my lottery. I want winning basketball. I don't know why he wasn't starting over Daniel Jacobson during the first game of U19s, but he proved it pretty much right away. He is probably going to be a top 3 center prospect in this draft. And I hope Morris Johnson pans out, man, because the kid is just so talented. I also hope he plays like a full season because he was a bit injured last year. But if he plays a full season, and I think he's a better prospect than Yaxel Lindenberg, in my opinion, if he pans out, that kid's gonna be a lottery pick. So that's the end of my mock lottery. This is gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be an edited type. I don't think I'm gonna edit this, to be honest, because I've held this way too long, and I know that this is gonna be a very interesting one. I know you guys probably want this video out soon. I am gonna step up my quality in terms of the videos I make, because I'm gonna be honest, they have not been good enough, and I need to step up on that based off what I have. So thank you guys for watching. I gotta get the thumbnail done and get this out. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning. I gotta figure my shit out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.